In a sunny forest, nestled among tall grasses and wildflowers, lived a close-knit colony of ants. These tiny creatures formed a dynamic community, where teamwork was at the heart of each day. They were always busy gathering food, building and maintaining their nest, and ensuring each other's well-being. In the midst of this thriving colony was Zoe, a little ant with a big heart. Despite her small size, Zoe stood out for her unwavering determination and selfless spirit. She never hesitated to help her fellow ants, whether it was carrying a heavy load or solving a complex problem. Zoe stumbles upon a massive juicy berry that has just fallen from a nearby bush onto the ground. Its vibrant color catches her eye, and she feels a surge of excitement at the thought of bringing it back to the colony. Zoe was happy, but then she realized that the berry was too big and that she couldn't carry it on her own. Realizing she needs help, Zoe decides to call on her fellow ants to assist her. Zoe returns to the colony, informs the other ants, and they decide to unite and form a plan to transport the berry. The ants gather around the berry, all looking at Zoe, who stands on a twig explaining her idea. Zoe raises a leg to illustrate her plan, while the other ants listen intently, showing agreement and encouragement. The ants gathered around the berry, dazzled by its size and weight. Quickly, they began to form teams under Zoe's direction. She assigned specific roles to each of them. Zoe assists each ant if they need help and positions herself in the middle of the line to ensure a clear path. She provides instructions, guiding her team with precision to make sure everyone is on the right track and the berry is transported efficiently. While she was at the front inspecting the path, Zoe realized there was a stream of water and immediately recognized the danger. Zoe returned to her colleagues, informed them of the stream, and immediately began thinking of a solution. She suggested diverting to a safer path with less incline, which would avoid the stream and make the journey easier for everyone. After a long journey, Zoe instructed her colleagues to take a brief rest to regain their strength. As they settled down, dark clouds gathered overhead, and suddenly rain began to fall. The downpour quickly soaked the ground, creating a new challenge for the team as they tried to stay dry and protect their precious cargo. Facing the heavy rain, Zoe realized it was crucial to find shelter quickly for her colleagues and the berry. She set out to find a suitable refuge, scanning the area for a safe spot where they could protect themselves from the storm. Finally, she discovered a cavity under a rock, large enough to shelter the entire team. Zoe led her colleagues to this temporary refuge, where they could stay dry from the rain while ensuring that the berry remained protected. Show read A. After the rain stopped, Zoe and her friends emerged from their shelter, relieved and full of energy. The sun had come out, casting a beautiful golden light over the forest. Instead of rushing back to their journey, the ants took a moment to enjoy the warmth. They played together, laughing and dancing in the rays of the sun, feeling the joy of the moment. The bright sunlight reflecting off the dewdrops on the leaves and the fresh scent of rain in the air made everything feel magical. Ant carrying their berry. Suddenly, Zoe heard heavy footsteps approaching in their direction. Her antennae twitched with concern, and she immediately stood upright. Her face, once beaming with happiness, twisted into a grimace of fear. It was the sound of children's footsteps, as they too played with the water and enjoyed the warmth of the sun. Zoe immediately realized the danger. The children could easily crush her friends without noticing. Her heart raced as she realized they needed to change direction to avoid danger. Zoe quickly suggested heading towards a hill, away from the children's footsteps. Her friends, understanding the risk, followed her advice without hesitation. Zoe was happy because the mission was successful, and her friends were now safely away from danger. Despite their fatigue from climbing the hill, her friends were happy because they were now far from danger, and the path ahead seemed much closer. Zoe continued to encourage them to keep walking, so they could reach their home before nightfall. After a long walk, Zoe announced the end of their adventure, and told them they had successfully made it back home with their berry. The ants began to head home in groups, all happy with their success, and were ready to rest and sleep. The ants, overjoyed by their success, started to play and dance with exuberance. Their happiness was infectious as they celebrated their achievement together. Show Zoe, the red ant, along with other ants in the tunnel, all looking at the berry. The other ants were astonished by the size of the berry and appreciated the effort of their friends. They admired the hard work that went into bringing back such a valuable treasure. The ants who participated in the adventure enjoyed a well-deserved rest the following day.